Welcome to the June 30th Valley Board of Selectmen meeting. Just as a reminder, this meeting is being audio and video recorded digitally. And I call the meeting to order. And the first item is Pledge of Allegiance. Joe, would you lead us to Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Sure will.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Joe. Next order of business is Chairman's comments, and I do have some thank yous I want to give out tonight. The first one is to the Institution for Savings, Newburyport, the Rowley branch, for the generous donation to the 375th Committee to provide concerts on the Common through the summer. And you're working on that part of that project.
Yes, sir. And we had our first concert on the Saturday night from 6 to 8 o'clock, and we had the Three Amigos, and we had some fun and enjoyed the music. And we didn't have a big crowd, but hopefully we'll build for the July 12th. The Merrimack Cat Company will be our next band to play.
Very good. Also like to thank the Ipswich Rotary Club with their generous donation of materials and labor to paint the gazebo and bring that up to date. It really looks really nice now. I was getting a little bit shabby there for a while, and they stepped up and stepped forward, and we appreciate that very, very much for the 375th anniversary of the town.
Well, they're out there tonight painting.
Yeah, I just saw him.
Doing a little finishing touch-up, I think.
Yeah.
Doug Sheely and Jim Tedford are out there painting.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable that they would step up like that and do that for us.
Jimmy Tedford, he donated all the paint.
All the paint?
Yep,
Wow.
Tedford's
That's,
Hardware.
yeah, that's great. We appreciate it very much. Also, I'd like to thank our illustrious selectman, Mr. Snow, for his donation for the Independence Day ceremony that we had Saturday, and the Recreation Committee for being there and helping us. Our own staff was there, filling in and doing some of the work, signing up people to play the games.
My pleasure, Mr. Chairman.
And also KM Franks
Yes.
and Savage Seafood for donating the ice for the slush. So we appreciate all of those things that people have been able to step forward and help us out with those projects.
Mike and Ben up there at Savage Seafood.
Yep.
And Tasha down to Shaw's for the
That's right, too, the
rolls.
shows, the rust,
Shaw's,
rolls
they
and
donated.
things like that. Wow.
Yeah. And
That's
Frank
great.
Markowitz for the hot dogs. Jack, thank you for getting those hot dogs for us.
Yep.
And the slush.
Huh?
The slush Italian.
Oh yeah, then I
Nice.
went down to Richie's Italian slush there.
That's great.
We still have 4 containers left for employee
Wow.
day.
Employee
And
day.
watermelon was the best.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
all,
I just
but all the lemon went.
The lemon. We have another lemon left.
All the
so don't
lemon
worry.
went. He says, yeah, you know.
Yeah,
The lemon got a late start.
All the lemon went, you know.
we got some orange cream and root beer and one more left. So
Very good. And, you know, everybody enjoyed it very much.
Yes,
The
it was a
crowd
good time.
Was very good there, and the kids really had a fun time. It was great. So, okay, it's now being 7:05 to 7:15, we'll have citizens query. If anyone wants to ask some questions, we can't really act on anything you ask us about, but we certainly can take it under advisement. We also have an appointment tonight at 7:15. Richard Edelman to discuss application for farmer winery license. George Pasenka, Agricultural Commission, to discuss the sale of wine at the farmer's market.
I'm here for George, Libby Tucker.
Okay, Libby, yeah, and we'll get to that at 7:15. So the next item would be general business. And item number 1, letter of resignation from primary water operator Peter King. And And this is dated June 18th, and it's Board of Water Commissioners. After much thought and consideration, I have decided to resign my position with the town of Rowley as the primary water operator. My last day with the town will be July 4th, not 2014. I apologize for any inconvenience that my resignation may cause and will put forth every effort to make the transition as smooth as possible for all parties. Thank you for your understanding in this matter. I will contact Human Resources in regards paperwork to complete my resignation. Sincerely, Peter E. King. So,
Mr. Chairman, I move we accept that with regrets and send them a letter of thank you.
I'll second that.
motion made and seconded to send a letter of thank you to Peter King with regrets that he's resigning. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Request, general business number 2 is request from Board of Water Commissioners to lift hiring freeze for the primary water operator. June 20th, 2014, to the Rowley Board of Selectmen. Gentlemen, per the request of the Rowley Board of Water Commissioners, the board would like to lift the hiring freeze in order to facilitate the hiring process for the position of primary water operator. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to call me. Carmen Federico, Rowley Water Department.
I'll give you that motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded to lift the hiring freeze to hire a primary water operator. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. General business number 3, American with Disabilities Act's proclamation. We have a proclamation for the Americans with Disability. Town of Rowley proclamation. We, the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Rowley, Massachusetts, by virtue of the authority invested in us by the people of Rowley as elected officials, do hereby proclaim Saturday, July 26, 2014, as Spirit of the 24th Anniversary of the Americans with Disability Act, ADA. We urge all citizens of the Town of Rowley, its community leaders, business, and government officials to celebrate the contribution that people with disabilities have made and continue to make. As the Board of Selectmen of Rowley, we renew our commitment to upholding the non-discrimination principles of ADA. We urge all citizens to support the efforts of the Independent Living Center of the North Shore and Cape Ann, Inc., which is the voice of all persons with disabilities and their families. This proclamation is an acknowledgement of the rights of all persons with disabilities under the ADA and their daily activities, struggles, and triumphs here in our town. In witness hereof, I have hereby set my hand and seal of the Town of Rowley this 30th day of June 2014. So do we want a motion for that? Yes.
I move that we sign the proclamation for the ADA.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, still got a little bit of time. General business number 4. Request from Josette Renda to hang banner on the town common backstop. June 30th, 2014. Request from Josette Renda to hang banner on the town backstop. Josette Renda is requesting to hang a banner on the town common for the Pine Grove School Spaghetti Supper fundraiser scheduled for September 12th, 2014. Josette understands that she is responsible for the banner and has provided a contact number.
I'll give you that motion, Mr. Chairman, for the dates of August 31st to September 13th.
I only have one comment to offer that we may have to lower the banner on the 6th when we take the picture, depending upon which direction the photographer uses to shoot the town picture on that Saturday.
Okay, that's gonna be the 6th of September, right?
Right.
That's gonna happen.
Right.
Okay.
May I ask a question about the banner?
Yep.
The farmer's market banner usually goes up like in a week or so.
Yeah,
I don't know, how much space she's wanting or... And we can share.
yeah, I'm sure that it's probably gonna be fairly small. This is just advertising the spaghetti fundraiser.
August 31st to September 13th. So they're going to put it up on August 31st. They just wanted to get this wrapped up at the end of the school year
Yeah.
to get the permission, so.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, if we need to just cover them up or something like that for 1 hour or whatever it takes to do that, that should be fine. But I would assume that you'd still have your same space,
Okay.
because it's been there for quite some time. So,
Yeah, the Agricultural Commission request is further on the agenda.
okay.
I'll give you that motion.
Motion made?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor of hanging the banner for the Pine Grove School Spaghetti Supper fundraiser, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, Dave Peterson made that motion? Okay. All right.
Okay.
This is left on the table, yeah.
Maybe we can get one more in here. Item number 5 under general business, set Board of Selectmen meeting schedule, July, August, September. And we have a list of dates to set the Board of Selectmen meeting schedule for July, August, September. July 14th, July 28th, August 11th, August 25th, September 8th, September 15th, September 22nd, September 29th. Are there any discussions or comments on those dates?
I have a conflict on the 28th, but I'll be...
Well, you understand that this is priority.
Really?
Yes.
No, my grandson comes first.
Okay. Motion to accept
I'll
those
make a
dates.
motion, we accept them dates, July through September,
I'll second.
as printed.
Motion made and seconded to accept the dates. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 6 under general business, letter from Agricultural Commission re-farmers markets schedule. To the Board of Selectmen, the Agricultural Commission is again requesting your permission to hold the Raleigh Farmers Market on the town common this season. The farmers market will run consecutive Sundays from July 13th through October 5th, 2014, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Vendors will begin to set up at 7 a.m. and vacate the common by 2 p.m. We are also seeking permission to hang a farmers market banner on the backstop on the common the week of July 8th, 2014. The banner will be maintained throughout the summer. Thank you for your support. Diane Schott, Secretary. Any questions or comments?
I'll give you the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second it.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 7, letter from Mary Beth Weisner, Water Superintendent position. And this is from Mary Beth Weiser, June 22nd. Mrs. Deborah Egan, Town Administrator, Personnel Officer, Town of Raleigh, Main Street, Raleigh, Mass. Dear Miss Egan, please consider this letter my formal acceptance of the position of the Water Superintendent for the Town of Raleigh. I would like to thank you, the Water Commissioners, and the Board of Selectmen for the substantial time and effort put forth through the interview process. It was this considerate effort that assisted me with my decision to work for the Town of Raleigh. I truly appreciate the time and care you took in answering my questions. I am pleased to accept the starting salary of $78,780 annually. My start date will be August 11th, 2014. This will enable me to give due notice to my current employer and afford me time to relocate back to the area. I would like, again, thank you, Mrs. Egan, for offering me this wonderful opportunity, and please let me know if I can do anything in advance of my start date to facilitate the process. I look forward to working with all of you. Sincerely, Mary Beth Weisner.
Need a motion, Mr. Chairman?
It would be nice to accept the letter.
I'll give you a motion to accept the letter.
I'll second him.
Motion made and seconded to accept the letter. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The time being 7:15. We have an appointment. (7:15 p.m.) Richard Adelman to discuss application for a farmer winery license. George Basenka, and George has a representative here with us tonight. Agricultural Commission to discuss the sale of wine at the farmer's market. Alfalfa Farm Inc. has a farmer winery license from the state. They've applied for and received certification from the Department of Agricultural Resources that the Raleigh Farmers Market is an agricultural event as required by the ABCC. They have completed the application form to sell their wine at the Raleigh Farmers Market. The template for this application was approved by the Selectmen at the June 16, 2014 meeting. They have checked off on this application that they wish to provide samples of wine to prospective customers free of charge. Trudy Perry, who has provided her tip certification documentation, would be serving the wine. The town's alcohol beverage bylaw is attached for your reference. So I'm assuming you folks are here for that?
Yeah.
Very good. So everyone has a copy of the application? So, I mean, I think we need to, at least the board members should look at the page 3, the alcohol beverage bylaw. Okay. Okay, a quick glance at the application. It seems to be in order. Would you like to make a presentation, Rich?
Well, we've been running a farm winery for about 20 years now. We planted the grapes 20 years ago.
Wow.
And in the last, I guess, 3 years, we've started doing farmers markets around different towns. Swampscott and Gloucester. I think Essex we're going to do this year. What other ones?
Middleton,
Middleton, yeah.
Ashland.
And Ashland, yeah. Those ones this year. And it's agricultural tourism. It's probably one of the biggest ways that the farm wineries can sell wine to people. They all have different business models. When we started, we were number 13, and now there are 50 farm wineries in this state.
Wow.
And a lot of them do farmers markets, which is a benefit because not only you sell the wine, but then it's people find out that you're there and they come to the winery. And so it's good advertising as well as sales.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm
Our
sure it
wines
is.
aren't in any stores, so our main source of bringing the wine to people is direct to sales like this.
Yeah.
It's very helpful.
Very good. The Agricultural Commission have anything to say?
No, we more than welcome them. We're excited to have them, and we know, we have the rules from the state. We have a specific spot they're going to be in, and I think the rules generally apply for indoors, but we have them cited right on the common, right there, one spot, and we're really happy to have them. I think it'll be a nice draw.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it will be. It'll be, should work out very well.
You know, and our understanding of the TIPS certification is, you know, it's gonna be
That has to be.
small, tiny sips anyway, and I think on a Sunday morning that, well, who knows?
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure you guys are gonna bless it before we go.
Absolutely.
Are you Trudy?
I am.
We're not related at all.
Oh, no.
Okay.
But that's okay.
Does the board have any comments or suggestions or questions? I think we need to vote on that, particularly to cover the bylaw section.
Seems to be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, just
Need a
for fun.
motion, Mr. Chairman?
I would assume, is there any other things that we need to kind of look at, Deb, or? I mean, the application seems to be
Seems to be.
in order, and,
Yeah, no, unless you have any questions. You know, we were talking about at the last meeting that they were gonna be selling the wine, but there was no discussion about the sample, so I wasn't
Samples.
sure what the board wanted to do with that, or if they, so.
yeah, I know that the state allows you to do that, to give away samples.
The samples that we provide are in like the little medicine cup size, and they're like that much of it. I mean, it's not, it's like maybe 5 milliliters. That's what's on Sunday mornings. It's really hard to get people to try anyway. But that's about, and they're allowed by law to do as free samples, but they're not just a taste of the wine, literally. So if that works,
Are you limited, but the state limit the number of samples?
I believe it's 5.
5 samples?
The only other thing is that George and I are there every weekend, monitoring
Good.
those dogs and et cetera, and flying tents and whatever else we need to do monitoring.
I know in
That's
the
true.
past, we've allowed, I did vote against it, but alcohol upstairs for a function. And there was also, I believe, the library held a function. So
We did.
we have kind of waived it in the past. It might be worthwhile to take a look at changing the bylaw, particularly for farmers markets, where it's the new thing, and we're kind of behind the 8 ball on.
Well, probably should look into it, Dave, and see. I mean, I still think we should have some sort of, be able to give permission, rather than make it a blanket policy.
Well, I think that's what, we probably need to change the bylaw
The
to,
bylaw says any public way, and which is different from the upstairs, which is not a public way. It's
Right.
secured and you can't walk on it.
And I know that
it's
all-
geared for public drinking, obviously.
Yeah, and that's where
I don't have a
I
problem
wasn't
with
sure.
samples at this point. And if we get complaints, we'll address them then, and then I'd maybe take a look at changing the bylaw to just conform with this whole farmers market thing with the wineries.
It's fairly recent.
It's all new, with
Yes.
even the licensing procedure and the
Yeah.
application, it's just coming on. It's gonna be a little tough probably to do business down there if you can't give out some
We'd like to
samples.
sample.
We're assuming that you've been in business long enough that, you're responsible, and we know
Yes.
George Basanker and his crew will be
Yeah. It's very helpful.
keeping a careful watch and not drinking too much of your wine.
Lapse.
But, I have no objection at this point.
No, I have no
I
objection.
understand the bylaw, and I think the intent of the bylaw was for, people drink, sitting down there and having a 6-pack of beer in the common or at the ball field or town property, so I would recommend that we take a look at, updating the bylaw at the next town meeting, but at the same time, this will be a good chance to see how it goes.
Okay, so if there's no other discussion, unless somebody else has some questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll give you a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second it.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
Raleigh.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming
Very
by.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you on Sundays. Yeah. All right. Thanks so much. Have a good
Okay,
night.
good.
Night.
Take care, and have a happy 4th.
You too.
Okay, item number 8 is accept donation from Robert Snow. Honorable Board of Selectmen, Robert Snow, donation. Please accept my donation of $59.50 for the Independence Day celebration races. Any questions or comments?
I'll make a motion that we accept the donations from Robert Snow for the sum of $59.50 for Independence Day celebration races.
I would second that in saying that we are very grateful that Selectman Snow has made a donation. We really appreciate it. He's done it for several years, and it's a nice gesture, and we appreciate it. Thank you, Bob.
Very
My
much.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Abstain.
General business number 9, Rowley Public Library hour, new expanded hours. Rowley Public Library, new expanded hours, Monday, 10 a.m., 8 p.m. Tuesday, 10 p.m., 8 p.m. How's that work?
I think that should be an AM.
I presume it's a typo.
I think you're right. So we'll actually modify that to Tuesday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Wednesday, 10 a.m., 8 p.m. Thursday, 10 a.m., 8 p.m. Friday, closed. Saturday, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. Sunday, closed.
If I may comment, Mr. Chairman, that this allows the library to be consistent and be open 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I believe they've done it with another grant that was generously given to the library. And I would support this, and I would offer a motion to accept the new expanded hours.
Okay, motion made.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
Just one quick one. How many hours are they, what does this change from the current hours?
They're
Okay.
changed, they're
Extra hour
adding
day,
on, instead of opening up at 3 p.m. on Tuesday, I believe, they're opening up at 10 a.m., so they're adding 5 hours.
The grant's for 1 year, so we'll have to pick up the tab for, I assume they'll be looking for a budget increase next year to
They
cover the.
might have to, I'm not sure exactly
just so
what
we're
the
aware of
grant
that.
covers. Yep,
They do a lot of business.
they do.
A lot of business. You go over there during the day, this very, very busy place.
We know because of the parking lot.
Yeah.
And
No, but it's good to see.
It is,
It really
absolutely.
is.
It's
You come
great.
in the parking lot and you go over go into the library,
Yep.
and it gets a lot of use, and it really is great.
And they use it for many activities beyond
Yes.
just the library fit. And Pam has done an excellent job, Pam Jacobson, the librarian, and her entire staff have done a marvelous job over there.
Yeah, it really is. It's a
And the
good-
Friends have
It's a great
made
asset
a
to the
great
town.
contribution.
town
It is a
Raleigh.
great asset.
And what really, I think is the good part of it is the children's programs that they run. They really get the children involved in the library itself with the programs that they have. So, no further discussion, I'll take a motion. I'll ask vote on the motion to accept the hours of the hour changes for the library. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, that takes care of general business. New business, number 1. Letter from Peter Carpentier, ZBA Associate Appointment. June 25th, 2014, Mr. G. Robert Murray, Chairman, Rowley Board of Selectmen, Rowley Town Hall. Dear Chairman Murray, I am presenting this letter of introduction to the Rowley Board of Selectmen at the request of Mr. Donald W. Thurston, Chairman of the Rowley Zoning Board of Appeals, who was asked if I would consider acting as an associate member of the Board of Appeals. Many years ago, I did serve on the Board of Appeals as an associate member, but due to daily travel to Boston and the late hours I kept, it was not possible to attend many meetings, and it was necessary that I resign. However, at the present time, as I am semi-retired and working locally, it is possible to be more available for service than in the past, and I am interested in serving on the Board of Appeals if the Board of Selectmen should elect to make such an appointment. Peter F. Carpentier, Esquire. Any discussion?
He's had a long record of helping out with towns and serving on the board. Before I make a motion that we accept his
Excellent
application.
candidate, I believe.
Seconded.
Okay, we have a motion made and seconded. All those in favor of appointing Peter Carpentier as the associate member on the Zoning Board of Appeals signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Mr. Chairman, just to clarify, that's a 5-year term.
5-year term?
Yes, 5
Okay.
years.
Did we tell Peter that?
Well, it will be on the official action notice.
Okay, we shouldn't have told him up front anyway, so. We don't want to scare him away. No, Peter's a good guy.
Yes.
Okay, new business number 2, fiscal 15, reappointments and appointments. Okay, we have new business number 2, which is new appointments. And these need to be discussed. Okay, the first one that's up is the Eastern Essex Veterans District 1-year term, Selectmen's representative, which will be good to 6/30/2015.
That's been Dick Cummings, right?
Yes. If I may, I would like to make a suggestion. No.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to ask our esteemed colleague, Mr. Snow, if he would be willing to take this position.
Is he a veteran?
Yes.
Oh, he is, okay.
Yes,
He's
he
only
is.
a Marine.
That's what I was gonna say. Are they really veterans? No, never mind. I think that's a
I,
fact.
I would be very pleased and very proud to take over this position.
I appreciate that, Bob.
I'll make the
think
motion,
You can do a
Mr.
great job
Chairman.
with it.
With pleasure.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and seconded to appoint Selectman Robert Snow as the Selectman's representative to the Eastern Essex Veterans District for 1-year term. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Quick
Opposed?
question- A quick question, Bob. How are they making out with the replacement for Terry Hart?
It's ongoing right now, and right now they're trying to get a veteran service officer in there, and there's 2 different types. There's a director and a veteran service officer. So right now they're trying to get somebody in there just to cover. And you know, there's so many veterans within the district. I think there's 80 right now within the whole district, and there's checks that have to go out weekly. And Georgette's, who was Terry's secretary over there, she's been out sick. And so now they're up in the air. So it's been very, very difficult since May 1st. So right now we're putting together a team. Okay, and I couldn't vote because I wasn't appointed to it. But Dick came to the meeting, and Dick was voting. So right now we're trying to gather together to put a team together to look at a candidate. So I would say we're probably going to be 3 months. Anyways, trying to get somebody. It is so important to get somebody with those qualities, and to try to get somebody at Terry's level. People don't really realize. Terry was a captain in the Coast Guard. He had worked in Washington. You have to have that political experience too, besides having that, the veteran, the military background. So.
Yeah, he's a tough shoes to fill.
It
Yes,
is
very
tough
definitely.
I believe I saw Salisbury. Didn't Salisbury just lose their veterans officer too?
Yes.
I think he resigned or retired or something, so it's,
And
everybody's going through the same.
now, I think you guys know my background. When I was in the service, I worked with VA hospitals. I worked with 3 in the Boston area, and I also worked with when Chelsea Naval was open. I worked with that. So I do have some background. I understand the veterans, the policies and everything else.
Good.
And so.
Oh, good luck with
Very
it.
good.
So I'm very pleased to do this, and
Thank you.
As we go forward, we're going to have more veterans returning, and we're going to have the pool is going to
Yes.
get larger and
Yes.
larger, and post-traumatic stress syndrome is way up in these fellows, and rightfully so, because they're coming back after 4 or 5 tours of duty, where in World War II, a combat soldier had approximately, what was 15 to 30 days in combat within a year. These guys are, you're talking about a much longer period of time. It was like, Vietnam was the same thing. Vietnam had long periods of time. The Marines did 13 months. The Army, I don't know, Dave, you did what, 12?
I did 13 months.
You did 13 months, so
No, it's a tough deal, and
It is.
we need to support these guys. And Terry was just, he did a super job
you really did.
in all aspects of the job, and it's just going to be tough to, whoever follows him up is going to have some
Oh, it is going to be
big shoes to
really
fill,
difficult.
so good luck with the appointment.
Okay.
Anything we can do, or I can do for you, Bob, just let me know.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay. The next appointment is the Limited Lighting Bylaw Enforcement Agent. It's a 1-year term to 6/30/2015. Should this responsibility be transferred to the Planning Department? Frank Mangiati, the health agent, has been appointed to this, but now the Planning Board is the permitting authority, and not the Selectmen. Selectmen are no longer the permitting authority for this. So the thought would be that we may want to transfer this to the new planner at the Planning Board.
Transfer the authority to appoint?
No, transfer the authority of the
Enforcement.
enforcement
Just
agent.
change the agent from Frank to
The Planning
new
Board.
Planning
New
Board.
Planning Board member.
Oh,
The
okay,
Planning Board,
okay.
I think that's a good idea.
That way it's within the same department and they can enforce
So
it that
should
way.
should we notify the planning board before we do that, or is that something we can just, you know what I mean? Are they aware that they'd be the?
No, I think I would recommend, I was hoping the board would discuss this, maybe send a memo to the planning board and letting them know. What we did, we had Frank under regulatory compliance. It was at a point in time where it was just me in the office with Mickey. We couldn't keep up with this, and we actually had no legal authority. Only the building inspector has legal authority to enforce, zoning. That's why it's called limited. What Frank did for us was reviewed the illuminated sign applications and also any complaints regarding, light trespass and things like that from lights and luminaires and things. So I think it would be appropriate for the planner to probably do that.
I make a motion, Mr. Chairman, then that we send a memo to the planning board requesting
The appointment.
the appointment of the planner and the reasons why, just,
That
I'll
mo-
second that.
The motion made in second, and it's in order. And is there any further discussion? All those in favor of transferring it to the planning board's planner?
we'll send a memo to them.
Memo,
just to make
send a
sure.
memo and request that it be turned over to them. Signify by saying aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion carried. So that one. Okay. And new business number 2, which is reappointments. Reappointments, Board of Appeals, Chapter 41, Section 81. It's a 5-year term, David Levesque. Also, at the same time, Zoning Board of Appeals, ZBA, 5-year term to 6/30/2019, David Levesque. Is there any discussion or comments?
Is that is there any kind of conflict with him, with Dave being on the CBA plus being the electrical inspector? There's none?
No,
That comes up.
no.
That's a good question, because
He's been doing that for years, so, I mean.
Yeah. Well, I just want to make sure that we're in
Yeah.
compliance, that's all.
it hasn't been questioned before, but it is a good question.
I mean, if something comes up, I'm not sure what the electrical inspector gets in,
Does that come under the,
he's under the building.
under 10,000
Well,
rule of the Massachusetts general law, when you have an entity like Raleigh, or smaller than 10,000, you can serve on different. But
I think
he only makes electrical inspections, so I
Well,
don't
but
think
I
that really
think-
gets involved in.
I think part of the issue is that he works for the building inspector.
Okay.
He's under the building department, which is the building inspector. And the building inspector enforces the zoning.
Maybe we could check with Judy and see. We'll put a hold on that one until next time.
Yeah, let's just make sure that we're
Okay.
in compliance.
So do you want to put a hold on this
Yeah,
appointment?
why don't we, if there's a question, why don't we wait and we'll put it on next agenda.
Okay. I'm assuming that the position is in place, Debbie, until a replacement or
I
reappointment?
believe it expires on June 30th. My guess is they probably don't have a meeting until the third Thursday, and I believe they meet once a month on the third Thursday. That's my understanding.
Okay, so, but would it hold that if there wasn't an appointment made?
Maybe we could extend it for 30 days until we get a questions
The
answered.
position expires, so either you
Right.
appoint it or you now or at
Okay,
another
so
meeting.
it's not one of those holdovers where until there's a successor appointed?
No.
No, okay, that was my question. So would a 30-day appointment be in order? As Mr. Peterson has suggested?
Yeah, that's a policy decision on the board, certainly, if that's what you...
Yeah, just so we don't lose a position
Yeah,
as
that's
to
right.
where it's been, and it's not a new appointment, it's
Right.
and then we'll get a clarification just to be concerned.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, is there discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now, let's see, we've got Forest Warden, call firefighters, Raleigh Emergency Management, Northern Essex Regional Emergency Management. I'm just trying to figure out which ones I can do and can't do. Okay, that one goes down that way. Okay,
You can read, but just can't vote.
well, I really need to abstain from some of these because of family ties.
Sure.
So I can supposedly read it, I guess.
Well, if you're recusing yourself, you really should
Shouldn't
step
even
out of it, the
discuss.
whole thing.
I
yeah.
agree, Deb, I agree.
And
So maybe I can get Vice Chairman Perry to do the call firefighters. Although I'm not sure what we're gonna do with the emergency management and the Northern Essex Regional Emergency Planning.
No, Mr. Chairman, so why don't we have Mr. Perry do Forest Warden
Yep.
and Superintendent of the Fire Alarm, that grouping, and I think it
Call
can be one
firefighters.
motion for that and the call firefighters, and you can recuse yourself.
Okay.
And then we'll get on to the next section separately in another one.
So I am going to recuse myself. Have you got it
Okay.
there? Yeah.
We have Forest Fire Warden and Superintendent of Fire Alarm, 1-year term. James C. Broderick, Chief, 6/30/2015. Mark Emery, Assistant, 6/30/2015. James R. Murray, Assistant, 6/30/2015.
Make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and seconded. All those in favor for those appointments signify by saying aye.
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 Recused?
Call firefighters, 1-year term. Roger S. Murray, 6/30/2015. Donald Murray, 6/30/2015. James Chadburn, 6/30/2015. Darcy Condelli, 6/30/2015. Ron Agrella, 6/30/2015. Daniel Busaleff, 6/30/2015. David Carpenter, 6/30/2015. John Condelli, 6/30/2015. Donald Dupre, 6/30/2015. Jared Graham, 6/30/2015. Justin Graham, 6/30/2015. Let me turn the page. Robert M. Hagopian, 6/30/2015. Charles Hazen Jr., 6/30/2015. Jason Murray, 6/30/2015. Andrew Nardone, 6/30/2015. Robert Serino, 6/30/2015. Jesse Warren, 6/30/2015.
I'll give you the motion.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Recused.
Raleigh Emergency Management.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shall I do that one?
Well, on this one, we've been working with the emergency management director. Initially it was Bob Snow, and I think, Dave, you popped in, and then Bob Murray met with them. So this one is by position. So this is structured by position now, and then each department head that's on this agency then goes and meets with his respective department for planning purposes and having any special meetings and training. So from now on, it will always be the chairman and the vice chairman who sit at the REMA table. So when there's an emergency, the chairman and the vice chairman will be, as they should, in case they have to call a special selectmen's meeting or something like that. So as that rotates, that will change. So in the case of that, then we could have the clerk, Bob Snow, if Mr. Murray and Mr. Perry want to recuse themselves from that. And also on Northern Essex Regional Planning, Emergency Planning Commission. So the next two are the chairman and the vice chairman.
Now, what we had it before was a whole list of different agencies that were working together, and it was kind of had outgrown its usefulness, and things had changed at the state level. When they first started talking about this emergency planning on the state level and things like that, there were certain positions that were created. And we seemed to have one of each, and we really didn't need one of each. So we sat down with the chief and we had a good discussion with him, and we came up with this plan where the department heads will be part of the agency, and then they can name their own employees as to whether they want to, and they'll be able to budget for things like that also, rather than just having it in one big group and then just everybody showing up. So I think it's going to be much more efficient. Should operate a lot easier than it has in the past. So
Well, I think budget-wise, it was a matter of the department heads not being paid, whereas if you got a police officer or a fireman that's working the evening shift or whatever, and has to come in for a day meeting, you got to pay him this way. Here, it's the department head of that department. If they want to pay someone to come in and do that, that's fine. But
exactly.
them to-
But they're
we're
now
not dictating it, or
they're in charge of their own
Right.
budget, so they understand how it's going to work, rather than getting hit with it, rather than
right.
just not knowing it's there. So I'll recuse myself.
I'll recuse myself.
And these are just all one-year appointments, so it's June 30th, 2014, so you don't need to,
Okay.
15.
These are all from
2015.
6/30/2015. James Broderick, Fire Chief and Director of REMA. Robert Barker, Police Chief. Robert Murray, Chairman of the Board of Selectmen. Joseph Perry, Vice Chairman, Board of Selectmen. Mary Ellen McGill, COA Director, Health Nurse. Patrick Snow, Highway Surveyor. Frank Johnny, Health Agent. Deborah Egan, Town Administrator. James Marino, and that's RACES, Amateur Radio Operator. Dan Foldings, Light Manager. Mary Beth Weiser, effective on her start date of 8/11/14. Do I have a
I'll give you a
motion?
motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Northern Essex Regional Emergency Management Planning Committee, 1-year term, expires on 6/30/2015. James Broderick, Fire Chief and Director of REMA. Robert Barker, Police Chief. Patrick Snow, Highway Surveyor. Deborah Egan, Town Administrator. Mary Ann McGill, Town Health Nurse, COA Rep. Robert Murray, Chairman, Board of Selectmen. Joseph Perry, Vice Chairman, Board of Selectmen. Dan Folding, Light Manager. Frank Mangiani, Health Agent. Bill Demento, Harbor Master. Do I have a motion? I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's all yours, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Historic District Commission, Historical Commission. Sarah Bork, alternate and clerk, 6/30/15.
I'll give you the motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Parks and Recreation Committee, 3-year term. Ryan Glant, Chairman, Michael Quinn, Kurt Annan.
I'll give you the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Parking Clerk, 1 year. Susan Hazen, Town Clerk, Barbara Demento, Susan Leach.
I'll give you that motion.
Motion made.
Second. Oh,
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Motion carried. 1 abstention. Board of Registrars, 1 year term. Barbara Demento, Mildred Dummer, Gordon Dinsmore, Susan Hazen, Town Clerk. And that says to 6/30/2014. Should that be 15?
Yes.
Yes, sorry
Okay.
about that.
And Donald Russo.
Let the record reflect that it's supposed to be 2015. And Don Russo, right?
Right.
Okay, I missed that one. That's 2015 already. Local Census Liaison for Federal Census, 1-year term. Susan Hazen, Town Clerk.
I'll give you the motion for Board of Registrars and the local census liaison.
second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mooring Clerk, 1-year term. Susan Hazen, Town Clerk. Barbara Demento, Susan Leach.
I'll give you the motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Motion carried, 1 abstention. Police Department, 3-year term. Elizabeth Smith, regular reserve dispatcher.
I'll give you the motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Town Clerk Assistant, 1-year term. Barbara R. Demento.
I'll give you that motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And Joe, you want to do, actually, you can't do it either.
I
Paul,
can't
you
do
want
it
to do the 375th?
Sure. 375th Committee, they all expire on 6/30/2015. David Irving, First Congregational Church. Joseph Perry, Raleigh Board of Selectmen. Susan Hazen, Town Clerk. Sam Seraph, Raleigh Historical Society. Robert Merry, Raleigh Historical Society.
I'll give you the motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a
Second.
second? I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Abstain.
Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Personnel Board. Larry White, Finance Committee, 1-year term. Richard Curry, Resident Representative, 1-year term. Dave Peterson, Board of Selectmen, 1-year
Give you the
term.
motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstained.
1 abstention. Zoning Review Committee. Kirk Baker, Town Planner, non-voting member, 1 year. Ken Ward, Building Inspector. 1 year. I'm stuck in the middle of this one. Donald Thurston, ZBA Representative, 6/30, 1 year. Thomas Highgard, ZBA Rep, 1
You
year.
read the next one.
Robert Murray, Board of Selectmen Representative, 1 year.
Cliff Pierce, 1 year. Dave Jakewith, 1 year.
I'll give you the motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? 1 abstention. Now we go on to New business,
We
actually,
got
new
election,
business.
we got election
One.
records.
One more page, Mr. Chairman.
Michelle?
Yeah, right, that's right on the opposite one. I think it's right on top there. Yep, you got your hand.
Ah, there we go.
There you go.
Do you want somebody else to do this,
Yeah,
Mr. Chairman?
I think we're gonna need to.
Raleigh Board of Selectmen, G. Robert Murray Chairman, appointment of election workers. I respectfully request that you consider the following appointments as election workers for the fiscal year 15 elections. Democrat, Marion Madden, 135 Weathersfield Street, Raleigh. Joan Peterson, 25 Newbury Road, Raleigh. Republican, Mary Bright, 965 Haverhill Street, Raleigh. Martha Chase Geary, 563 Weathersfield Street, Raleigh. Joan Lyons, 283 Haverhill Street, Raleigh. Marion Musial, 545 Newburyport Turnpike, Raleigh. Unenrolled, Michelle Ford, 51 Hammond Street, Raleigh. Robert Johnson, 28 Brook Street, Raleigh. Susan E. Leach, 5 Jellison Road, Raleigh. G. Robert Murray, 40 Warehouse Lane, Raleigh. Mary Ellen McGill, 76 Central Street, Raleigh. Respectfully submitted, Susan G. Hazen, Town Clerk.
Motion?
Call for motion?
I gotta abstain.
Motion.
Motion. Do we have a second?
I gotta abstain. Sister-in-law's on here.
Yeah, you gotta.
I think what you gotta do is,
Have to
do the
separately.
Democrats,
Well,
separate,
Can
so
we
Dave
vote by
can vote on the rest.
necessity?
Yeah, you could, or as Mr. Cook said, you can just take the first group, vote on it, the second group, because I think if you
Okay.
piecemeal it out, you'll have enough.
Okay. For Democrat, Marion Madden, 135 Weathersfield Street, Raleigh. Joan Peterson, 25 Newbury Road, Raleigh.
I'll give you the motion, Mr. Chairman, Vice Chairman.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Aye. For Republican, Mary Bright, 965 Haverhill Street, Raleigh. Arthur Chase Geary, 563 Weathersfield Street, Raleigh. Joan Lyons, 283 Haverhill Street, Raleigh. Marion Musial, 545 Newburyport Turnpike, Raleigh.
Give you the motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unenrolled, Michelle Ford, 51 Hammond Street, Raleigh. Robert Johnson, 28 Brook Street, Raleigh. Susan E. Leach, 5 Jellison Road, Raleigh. G. Robert Murray, 40 Warehouse Lane, Raleigh. Mary Ellen McGill, 76 Central Street, Raleigh.
Make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Abstain.
We passed that around pretty good.
Okay, new business number 3 is physical 14 interdepartmental transfers. I have a few here. Number 1 is library wages to library expenses. Transfer $850 from line 117, library wages, to line 118, library expenses.
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Stayed.
Opposed? Motion carried. Call firefighter wages to fire department expenses. Transfer dollars from, how many dollars?
212.88 it says.
Yeah, I was sorry, I was waiting for that to come in.
The backup material, 212.88 it says.
$212.88 in his letter. These are reasons why.
Make that motion.
Second.
And that's transferred to line 65, fire department expenses. And I will recuse myself from this transfer.
Call for motion.
I make the motion.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Jack Cook already.
All those in favor?
I made the motion.
I'm
You
sorry.
made the motion.
Oh, you made the motion?
Yeah.
I thought Bob Snow made the motion and you seconded it. Whatever.
All those in favor?
All right, I made
Aye.
the motion, Jack seconded.
Okay.
Aye.
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 And I'm gonna actually,
I'm
I'll redo, I'm gonna redo the sheet. You can just sign it after, so that it separates the library from
Yeah.
fire.
Okay. So is that, that's the only transfers we have, just those two, Deb?
Yes, so that would really conclude it for the fiscal year.
It's good. Wasn't many though.
Yeah, it wasn't
And
bad.
then
Okay, item number 4 under new business, ratify short-term bond for road pavement project. Okay. So that goes with that. This goes with that. Together here. Okay, that is to Honorable Board of Selectmen from Karen H. Summit, June 26, 2014, State Aid Anticipation Note for Pothole Funds. On April 10, 2014, the town of Raleigh received a letter from the Massachusetts Department of Transportation issuing a one-time contract allowing the town to draw down $35,560 for reimbursement for road repairs resulting from this harsh winter. It is my understanding that the Highway Department has or will soon have completed this work and spent these funds. On Tuesday, Sue Bailey received a call from our Department of Local Services representative, Everett Griffith, advising her that the funds might not be received for reimbursement until November of 2014. If the funds are received after September 30th, the $35,560 will be charged against the town's free cash. In order to avoid this hit on our 2014 free cash, the town has issued a State Aid Anticipation Note, SAAN, under Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 6A. This note is issued on June 30th, 2014, and matures on November 21st, 2014. The interest rate is 0.65%, and total interest cost will be $90.53. Attached is a copy of the SAAN paperwork and sales results. According to our financial advisor, First Southwest, under Chapter 44, Section 6A, the borrowing is authorized by the contract between Mass DOT and the town of Raleigh. However, I am asking the Board of Selectmen to ratify and endorse the issuance of the SAAN. So, as is usual with our illustrious state, they dangled the carrot and we chased it, and now we gotta pay for it.
No, we did it.
So, it's difficult. So I
Why do they
assume,
put that stuff out there and now hold us up?
well, that's typical state.
And they wanted
got
the
a
work
30 day.
done.
Yeah,
They
well,
wanted the work done, the work got done,
Yeah.
it's all done, and,
Right.
they're not gonna give us the money to pay for it like they said until November.
Well,
So they realized they had a problem on their hand, that's why they issued this short-term borrowing, because cities and towns have already balanced their budgets. And this is the end of the fiscal year.
It's costing us $90 to get 35,000.
So I
Well,
think
mean,
you
it's
just,
a good deal, but still, it's
Yeah.
that little carrot that's out there, you know?
Yeah.
You chase it, and then all of a sudden, something else drops on you.
That's what happens, haste makes waste. right?
Exactly. So all
Need
you
a
need is
motion, I'll
we
give you
need
the
a
motion.
vote of
I'll
the
give you a
board.
motion.
You know why they do it? You know why they do it? Because they can.
I'll second Dave's motion.
Motion made and seconded to ratify the borrowing for the pothole fund, state pothole fund. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, that one's done. Letter from Council on Aging Chairperson Mary Bright under item 5 under new business. Town of Raleigh, Massachusetts. Senior Center and Community Services. FKA, Council on Aging. Should that be FKA or AKA? Whatever, that's not a big deal. Anyway. Robert Mary Chairman, Raleigh Board of Selectmen, Raleigh Town Hall.
I think it's FK, formerly known as.
Oh,
Well, that makes a difference. Organization name change. Dear Mr. Chairman, 25 years ago, the name Council on Aging fit the organization and its goals at that time Now the council has grown and developed into a much more diverse and multi-focused organization. What started out as a small department developed to assist seniors in the community has now matured into a multi-tasked community organization. We are now involved with many facets of government such as municipal, state, and federal, as well as insurances, fuel assistance, and social security. The council's primary concern remains the citizen population of Raleigh. Through the generosity of the town and private donations, the council is able to offer many more services and venues to benefit Raleigh seniors. At the June 18, 2014 board meeting of the Raleigh Council on Aging, board directors unanimously approved a motion asked by Chairperson Mary Bright, with a motion made by Merle Phipps and seconded by George Gallant, to accept the name change to the Raleigh Senior Center and Community Services effective July 1st, 2014. Sincerely, Mary Bright, Chairperson. Now, the only issue we have with this is that the town bylaw is premised on the state law. And in the town bylaw, it's referred to as Council on Aging bylaw. In accordance with Chapter 430, Section 3 of the Acts of 1964 of the General Laws of Massachusetts, the town of Raleigh hereby establishes a Council on Aging for the purpose of coordinating or carrying out programs of the Commission on Aging, established under Chapter 40, Section 8B of the General Laws. So their bylaw and the state law refer to all of their activities as Council on Aging. So, where do we go from here? I think they can call their room over there the senior center, and add the name that they discussed on the beginning, the Senior Center and Community Services room. But the actual operation needs to follow the state law and the town bylaw.
So they have to stay.
So they've got to be known as the Council on Aging. It's in some, and it can't be formally known as. It has to be either AKA, acting as, something. But it really, I don't think they can be the senior center.
My guess is it should say Town of Raleigh, Massachusetts Council on Aging, and they can follow with Senior Center and Community Services until we change the bylaw, or we have to see if the state.
Well, the statute I gave you, it's in the back here.
Yeah, we got
The
the
statute is clear.
Isn't that
the
how-
state statute actually establishes their name. So I mean,
Ipswich,
Exactly.
Ipswich does it this way, doesn't? Don't they, Council on Aging and Senior Center?
I think we need to get a clarification
Yeah, clarification.
from
Mary Bright, well, let me ask her.
someone. In other
To make
words,
sure that they,
because I assume any state grants and stuff they get are going to go to the Council on Aging.
Well, anything that they do that deals with the state law that established this, it's got to be Council on Aging,
Council
because
on
that's what
Aging.
the state calls it. The state is the
Yeah,
Council on Aging.
so
until
when they post their meeting notices, they still have to call it the Council on Aging Board, open, under the open meeting law, right? Because they're still the Council on Aging.
Exactly.
I mean, the senior
I mean, if they wanted to change it,
center,
and we were only dealing with the town bylaw, that would be a fairly simple process. We'd
Yeah,
have to
just
go to
town meeting
and
could do
get
that.
it done. But when you have to start juggling around the state
I'm
law,
not sure that you can go to town meeting and change it because
well, no, we have to just
state law.
Chapter
state
40,
law.
Section 8B clearly establishes Council on Aging.
Exactly. So, I
A
mean,
city or ordinance
Can't do it
or
that
town bylaw may establish a Council on Aging. That's what the statute says.
yeah.
For the purpose of coordinated carrying out programs. The council shall submit an annual report to the city or town. So I think then if we just say, we get some senior center and community services, Raleigh Council on Aging, as long as they keep that and they post their meeting
Exactly.
notices as Council on Aging.
Yeah, I think so. Well, why don't we look into that and maybe give some direction as to which way they need to go.
I'm just looking at Ipswich. And I think it says Council on Aging, but then it says something talks about the van, Senior Center van. So they may call it the Senior
All right,
Center.
Well, I
I
mean,
think we probably need to call it Council on
Yeah.
Aging and then follow the second line with Senior Center and Community Service.
Right.
Then they can call the center senior
yeah,
center,
exactly.
it's fine. That's-
Like they do now, it's the senior center.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine to
And
call it
everybody-
what they're doing over there, the room that they're using, the building that they're using, the senior center.
Right.
That's fine, but
That's
the
no
official
problem.
name,
Right.
for other
The,
purposes, you gotta be council on
Council on
Aging.
Aging.
I don't know what Salisbury, what they call themselves, but I know on Route 1, they have that complex up there, which is named as a Black Senior Resource Center.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you can call the center anything you want. I mean, it's just a
Exactly.
matter of the formal name. They
Right.
they want to change the name of the organization to Senior Center, which I don't think they can do without, on their own.
Without holding that council on aging
Yeah.
title.
Yeah, the Council on Aging Board oversees the senior center and community service
Right.
department. That's kind of how I look at what I
Yeah,
think they want to do, as long as they post their meetings as the Council on Aging Board.
Salisbury calls it Council on Aging and Elderly Affairs. Everybody has it.
Yeah. Okay, any other discussion? So that takes care of item 5. Under new business,
Steve, are you gonna send them something? Or,
well, we're gonna at least look into it, talk to maybe some legal advice as to
Okay.
what, but I think it's pretty straightforward that it's gotta be council on aging at some level. I mean, they can call the room and they can call the building and use a hybrid of the name if they want, but it's gotta have council on aging in it to meet the requirements of the state law.
I'll call Mary Bright, I mean,
Yeah.
just get some
Talk to her
clarification.
and talk to her
You know,
and-
even if it's on the letterhead and they
Yeah.
just put Council on Aging.
yeah, because I think they're kind of proceeding with new letterhead and everything.
yeah, they put it in the newsletter and everything. so-
Right.
And they're,
They,
this
they
document,
need to be told.
yeah, no,
they
definitely.
Hold off or stop.
Yeah. Okay, so under old business number 1, discussion of 375th events. Vice Chairman Perry would like to discuss having food vendors on the town common.
On the weekend of September 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, that's our main celebration. And we're talking about specifically Saturday, September 6th. We're going to have a parade at about 11 o'clock in the morning and to the town common, and we'd like to invite food vendors that get a permit from the Board of Health to have food on the town common before the picture is taken at 2 o'clock. And so that's what we're targeting. I don't know how many vendors, I don't know how much space we're gonna have, or how many vendors would be interested in coming, but we're going to have a limited amount of space available. So we're still considering that as part of the committee, and we'll come back again to discuss that further.
Food's important.
Yes. Yes. We will have food from, pastries from Whittier Regional, and we expect to have certain other area vendors donate foods. That would be pretty nice, and for food for sale. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, you're welcome, Mr. Vice Chairman. Okay. Old business number 2 is continued, we want to continue actually the discussion on request to place children at play signs on Summer and Independence Streets. Our highway surveyor, Patrick Snow, has responded to the selectmen's request to review this request. And it's a memo attached. Chief Barker has been away, so we have not received his report. He has been asked to review data relating to speed citations and accidents on Independent and Summer Street. So I think I would like to see the chief's recommendation before we go forward with this request, which is to place children that place signs on Independent and Summer Street. Is there any other discussion or comment or input that the board wants to make?
I think we
I
should-
brought it up last time. I basically agree with the highway surveyor. I think they add more signs down there. It's only 25 mile an hour speed limit to begin with. It's not really a playground per se. I just don't think it adds sign clutter, and it's gonna, we put a lot of money into that common just to add signs for the sake of having more signs there. I mean, I'm perfectly happy to wait for the police chief's report.
Yeah, I think.
I just don't see that adding more signs in there is gonna either help. I mean, I'm not aware of any,
There's some
Any
young
accidents
families
down
in the area down there, and I think that's why it was brought up.
what,
And
Some young families in the area have small children, so.
right, but I mean, it's already 25 mile an hour zone. You know, I mean, it's not, I don't know, I just,
Well,
to me, more signs don't make any sense. It's just a, but that's, I'll wait until we hear from the police chief and see what.
And Dave, I felt kind of the same way when I first read the letter. But this past week or so, I've been spending quite a bit of time in that area with the gazebo.
Right,
and
right.
The events that have been going on for the Independence Day and the concert last night, Saturday night. But I made the turn off of Main Street onto Independent, which is kind of a tricky turn anyway, because the road comes out at an angle, which is away from you, so you kind of, when you make the turn, you kind of get up onto the wrong side of the street a little bit. And I was making that turn, luckily I was going very slow because it is kind of tight there when you make that turn, particularly with a truck. Two little kids came shooting out of Burke Avenue. One was on a skateboard and the other was on a bicycle. And I said, oh my God, where did they come from? Because they just all of a sudden appeared there. And I got thinking, I said, now I know why the guy might want to put signs up there. So, but I'd like to hear from the chief first, to get his opinion also. I certainly respect Patrick's opinion that there are a lot of signs there. So once we get the chief's opinion, I think we need to probably look at it a little bit more and discuss it and make a decision.
That's fine.
At this point, I'd like to continue it.
I agree.
To get more information. So if I have a motion to continue.
I don't know, make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to continue the review of this request. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, that ends old business.
No, you got a
No, it
letter.
doesn't. I got a letter.
Letter.
I do have a letter. Old business. Letter from Cynthia Lucia, Reforestry Land. The attached letter from Cynthia Lucia was hand-delivered on June 2nd, 2014 to the Board of Selectmen. If the Board of Selectmen agrees that the notice is sufficient, then there is a 120-day period starting from the date of receipt of the notice to intent, June 2nd, in which the town has a first refusal option to meet a bona fide offer to purchase the land. And the Board of Selectmen does not agree that the notice is sufficient because it does not contain all the material described in Chapter 61, paragraphs 2, 3, and 4. Then the Selectmen must notify the landowner within 30 days after receipt that the notice is sufficient and does not comply. Debbie has requested the Assessors, Conservation Commission, and Planning Board to provide their comments. Please see attached memos from these departments. Please note that the Planning Board has not yet discussed this at their meeting. So, we actually have a letter from Cynthia Lucia, and it's dated June 2nd, and it's to the Board of Selectmen. It's the Retention Board of Selectmen. This letter is in response to my request dated April 7, 2014, requesting the release of two parcels of land, 40 Dodge Road and 2 Mill Road, from the forestry program. My mother currently resides in a nursing home and I have an obligation to continue providing for her care. Because of the high cost of nursing care, I need to sell single-family residential house lots along Dodge Road and Mill Road in order to provide for her needs. I appreciate your consideration in this matter. Cynthia H. Lucia. Board of Selectmen, the Planning Board. Do we want to read all of these notices, Deb? Or?
Just so you know, I did reach out to the assessors. They're involved. Well, they just basically said that they, depending on what the selectmen decide, is how they will act. So that's on the
Okay.
rollback of the taxes.
So I think the issue that we have at this point is that we got to meet the requirements of Chapter 61. And we really haven't got there yet, have we?
I don't know what the board needs to discuss that.
Okay.
We looked at this briefly before. There are
It's-
very specific,
It's been turned back. They made a request a couple months ago, and it was not proper. There was no they didn't send it to the Conservation Commission, Planning Board, Assessors, and the State Forestry Department. According to this, they say they have been copied. I have not received any affidavits to that effect.
So basically, we don't think they've met paragraphs 2, 3, and 4 of Chapter 61?
but it's, if you look at number 4, any notice of intent to sell for other use shall be, and she's saying she's gonna sell the land. According to this, the law is required to show a purchase and sale agreement, I believe, so that we would have some indication if we wanted to write a first refusal, we'd know what we'd need to
Come up with for money.
purchase it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure we want to purchase it anyway, but is it maybe something that we could have her meet with, maybe town planner, to just, or someone to show her the proper, this is like the 3rd time she's written this, and every time it comes in incomplete or incorrectly submitted.
Well, we did give her the copy of the law and explain that she needed to review it.
Maybe
and-
she needs to sit down with someone.
Well, I don't know that, I think she needs to really review it and follow it. I think she tried to on this last one, but, I don't, want to be giving out legal advice.
No, but I mean, I think she needs someone, well, or tell her to, I mean, just trying to help the woman out. I mean, I think we understand her intent, but she needs to follow the correct procedures, and obviously we aren't lawyers, but, it might be a matter of her sitting down and being told this is exactly what you need, and that's what you need, and I mean, without being legal advice per se, but I don't know if the town planner would be the one to.
Well, I don't think so, no.
You don't think so?
It's
Alright.
the selectman that has to make the decision, but the planning board hasn't even had a meeting yet to review this. The Conservation Commission has. And they, the planning board is discussing the fact that it's been cited in the master plan. And the Conservation Commission is sending this out to other nonprofit organizations in case there was any interest in purchasing it. I think through an assignment process that's in here. which we haven't discussed either, so if
Well, it
that's,
sounds like they definitely need to have a purchase and sale agreement to show everybody what the price is, because it's
Well,
kind
yeah,
of hard to say we're gonna buy it or anybody else gonna buy it if nobody knows what the price is.
Well, the town actually has the right of first refusal,
Right.
but we have to pay the value, the asking value. So if she's got a purchase and sales or somebody that wants to buy it, made an offer, we have to match that offer.
Right, well, it's like the Bradstreet property came in with a purchase and sales agreement, and we met, and I think this case, I think she has to do the same thing with this property.
Right.
So
Before we-
basically, it's still
what-
incomplete. I don't know
we
what
could,
else
if
we
it,
can
if
do.
the board decides that I can, send the letter back explaining that these, no, they didn't include the notice,
Yeah, I think she needs an explanation of exactly, because this is like the third time she's.
the map, she needs to show that on a map,
I believe this is the third time.
Yeah.
drawn at the scale of the assessor's map. They need a copy of an executed purchase and sales agreement specifying the purchase price and all terms and conditions of the proposed sale, which is limited to only the property classified under this chapter. And any notice of intent to sell for other use shall be accompanied by any additional agreements. But this is definitely for development.
See, by having it under this plan that the land is in, they have very definite legal requirements as a result of getting tax breaks to get it out. And if we don't follow the procedure for this one, it's gonna be hard to follow up later on with other people that might wanna do the same thing, so. I'm just saying if we could give her a little help anyway in terms of, what exactly we're looking for. And then go from there, but I don't know who the proper person, whether it's this office.
Oh,
Without getting
it'd be
too
the
involved in
selectmen.
it, you know what I mean, without being too.
I don't want to give them the wrong, advice. So, I mean, I think I'll just steer them back to the statute, what's missing from the
Right.
letter.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to point out to them, that we still don't have enough information for this board to make a decision yet.
Yeah, without the purchase and sales agreement, we don't
I
have.
mean, that's one of the issues, but it's.
Yeah,
it's a
it
couple
sounds to
of
me
issues.
like she has no one lined up to buy it, because otherwise she'd already have an attorney in place to be, purchase and sales, normally you hire an attorney to go through it. It doesn't sound like she has an attorney, and it doesn't sound like there's a purchase and sale agreement in place. So without that, I think we're stymied in terms of being able to free it up to either buy it ourselves or say, okay, she can sell it, has permission to.
We just need the information. There's not much we can really do without it. So,
You need a motion for that.
Well, we would need to
letter.
notify them within 30 days. We got it on the 2nd of June.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now, can I get out of old business? I tried before. So that does end old
Maybe Debbie
business.
just send her a rejection and then follow it up with with a time that's tight. Just send, selectmen, I think that just a little further discussion there, because if we have 30 days to reject it, if we don't reject it, does that mean it goes through? I mean, I'm not sure of the procedures here, but maybe just send her
Within 30 days, we have to let them know that,
make a motion to reject her application, so we're within the 30-day period. And then we'll follow it up with a letter saying this is what you need if she wants to resubmit. We don't want to get caught up with the time limits.
oh, no, I can get a letter out in the mail tomorrow
Okay, as long as you got time to do it, that's my concern.
with the statute, with the items that need to be complied with. Okay.
All right, that's fine, thank you.
Okay? So the next order of business is announcements. And the town has the following vacancies. Fence viewer, 2 positions. Wood, lumber, and bark inspector. And zoning board of appeals associate. Are there still 2 open seats, Deb, or are there only 1 after
There's
tonight?
well, they're allowed to have 3, I believe, and
3, so
since
there are still 2 available. That would be 2 open seats for zoning board of appeals associate. For more information on these positions, please contact the Selectmen's office at 978-2372. 375th anniversary information events are posted on the town's website, www.townofrowley.net.
If I may, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
just like to emphasize that we are having our second concert, since we're not going to have another Selectmen's meeting before the concert. We are having our second concert on the Common on July 12th. The Merrimack Hat Company will be performing, and from 6 to 8 p.m.
We get that posted around town.
Yes. We have several posters up with all of the events, but we're going to get posters out saying that the Merrimack Hat Company is coming on the July 12th.
And get it up on the, we have it up on the website, right?
Right.
To kind of get the word out a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah, I think we definitely need to do that.
Yeah.
Battery recycling box located at Town Hall and Library. You can also be dropped off at the Board of Health at the Town Hall Annex. If you've got some old batteries and don't know what to do with them, bring them in, put them in the box, we'll get rid of them for you. It's a recycling job. One Book, One Community program hosted by the Raleigh Public Library. Contact the library at 978-2850. They're doing quite a few community programs this year because of the 375th. Raleigh Food Pantry is in need of donations. The food pantry is open Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and Thursdays from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. They can always use non-perishable foodstuffs, plus paper products and sanitary products. A lot of customers need to call Pennachuck at 1-800-553-5191 now for billing, payment, and customer service questions. Compact fluorescent light bulbs may be recycled at the Raleigh Municipal Light Plant. Light bulbs can be brought down during normal business hours. The curly Q ones, which are the compact fluorescents, not the tubes that you normally see in a fluorescent picture. And that does it for us.
I move we adjourn.
Second. Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I oppose. Motion carried.